Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about what to do if you're slow and what that means, and some examples of my tennis playing and coaching experience. And this is something that I think would make tennis a lot better. If you're slow, well, what does that mean? Well, I'll start with an example. There was a guy that I knew that I played with. I might even played on his USTA team at one point. He was probably in his 60s. It had to be in his 60s. And he played, I think both. Oh, yes, forehand and his backhand, he played slice. And this guy took lessons. I think he even took a lesson from me once, but never changed. And I don't think that he really, I don't know that he really should have changed, because he was a really good player. He was tough to beat. And I'm not saying that, if you're a guy who's like in form and you're big and you're fast and you're strong and you're like one of these college players and you're just ripping the ball all the time, you probably wouldn't want to play with him. But for everyone else, for all the normal people out there, he was tough to play and enjoyable to play because he was different. And that's kind of what I mean by this idea of, if you're slow, there's nothing wrong with playing like this. In fact, you probably should play like that. What does that mean if you're slow? Well, I'm not sure if he played like this his whole life, but let's say he's in his 60s, like you're older. Maybe you don't have that much sport experience. Maybe you don't play that much, etc. I don't know the situation. You have to figure it out. Excuse me. You have to figure it out for yourself. But I also saw kids. There was one kid in particular. He was this German kid. I think he was from Germany or somewhere out there. And he had what people would call bad footwork. And he was lazy footwork. Well, I'm not that convinced that that's always the case, because I haven't talked too much about this, but I do think playing tennis partially resembles a person's personality. And this kid was, he wasn't, I wouldn't say he was terrible at sports, but he's pretty good. He was decent, but he had lazy footwork. And he would chop the forehand, chop the backhand. And mind you, this kid's only been playing tennis for, maybe 6 months at the time. And even using like orange ball, red ball, didn't matter. He would still chop the ball. And maybe sometimes you could get him to play with get better footwork, get into a better position and play a topspin. But just letting him play freely, he didn't want to play like that. So I'm suggesting that you let these kids go. And if you're that person, you embrace that, because number one, it'll change and it'll turn when you're ready, or when your body is ready, when you've played enough, etc., etc. I've seen that as well. And that's my last example. I saw a kid in a tournament once. This was a higher level 12-year-old tournament, and this kid would slice the backhand all the time. And then eventually, watching this kid over the years, he started to come over it and play topspin more consistently. But he did it on his own time. So whatever situation that you may find yourself in, or if you know someone else and you're criticizing them, I don't think any of that is necessary. I think that it's perfectly fine to play backspin only all the time for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people would be better off. This is my main point. I think a lot of people would be better off if they just accepted this and played their game and played this style, which you don't see very often. Because what happens is, when the player who's slow, who's slow or slower tries to play with topspin, it actually makes them worse. It slows the game down dramatically. So they may effectively play topspin, but it slows their movement down. It slows their ball down. It's not natural, and it's actually quite annoying. It's more annoying to play that player, I think, because they're so slow that you're not playing the game. Like it's boring. But this guy that I'm thinking of, this guy in his later 60s or 70s, or even this kid, they can do cool stuff with the ball, hit drop shots, make you run, etc., etc. And it's more fun, it's more competitive. And I think this is a style of player that I think it would be nice to see more people embracing this, because of the reasons that I mentioned. If they don't, it's very unnatural, and it's I think players are worse off. So let me know down in the comments if you have any experiences like this. Maybe I'll speak more on this in the future, show you some examples, some videos. But there's a lot of people that would see this and they'll disagree with me. It's all day long they'll talk about footwork, the guy's lazy, etc. May be the case, but I think it's personality, because I can be lazy with my footwork and still hit a mean topspin, or whatever you want to call it, perfect forehand, and they have to work extremely harder. That's what people don't understand. How it's really hard to understand how hard a person has to work. And is it fair for you or me to ask them to work that much harder when for me I don't have to? It just doesn't make sense. So something that I think needs to be talked about more of in the tennis community. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.